Welcome back, everyone. Mate Talk time. Back in the office. Excited to be back. Not. Sorry, qualify that. Excited to be back on a Mate Talk. I prefer to be traveling. But anyway, you have to. Life is about yin and yang, so you have to experience both so you can appreciate everything. All right, let me get right into it. I've had a few questions being asked of me regarding really good citrus fragrances for summer. And I think a lot of that conversation came out of the recent Paris Monte Carlo video that I did. And you'll see that we spent quite a bit of time on the Italian collection, which is a glorious celebration on all things citrus, the citruses that they draw from Italy. So what I'm going to do now, I need to qualify this. I don't necessarily have favorites. I try to avoid having a favorite fragrance. I find that's very limiting. That's the reason why. It's like music. I like all kinds of music, and to say that this is my favorite versus that, I like all of it. So what I'm going to show you is fragrances that that were on constant repeat while I was in Italy. Italy was probably about 5 weeks ago, and that was stinking hot. It was really, really, really warm. And then I recently was in Malaysia, which was equal parts stinking hot and sweaty. So I was in a very different sort of heat, but very humid but very warm. I'm also going to talk about fragrances that I currently have on repeat here during our winter. So before I left, we are experiencing a very, very cold winter here in Melbourne. So I'm going to give you 3 fragrances that I loved whilst I was in that summer environment, and 3 fragrances that I love currently now in this winter environment. So let me kick off with summer. While I was in Italy, so Fueguia, we did some work with these guys. We actually filmed in their boutique. And the one that I was using quite regularly, it's my little baby one, is Humboldt. Now Humboldt is, and I've mentioned this before, I think it's on the citrus video that I created. It's just the most spectacular, glorious summer citrus fragrance. If you love citrus in your perfume, the concern sometimes happens is that citruses don't last. This one here is a beast, within the citrus sort of scope. It does last quite a bit. It uses bergamot in the opening and tangerine in the base. Now tangerine, very mandarin-like. It has this wonderful, juicy, vibrant citrus note to it. But the magic is the heart, which has a passion fruit. And it's that passion fruit that is equal parts sweet, but tangy, slightly acidic. Anyway, you need to experience this. As a summer fragrance, just magic, pure magic. It lasts really well. When you start to sweat, you smell like a god or a goddess. Because all these fragrances that I'm about to talk about are absolutely unisex. I know that the girls in my family wear it, obviously, and myself and the boys in the family also wear them. So that's Fueguia, Humboldt. I would recommend it. The next one I would recommend is Paris Monte Carlo. Obviously, we were doing work in Italy for Paris Monte Carlo, or we were filming in their store. So I was delving into their complete range, essentially. But the 2 that I had on repeat in that citrus lineup was Arancia de Sicilia. My tongue gets all muddled. And the other one is Mandarino. I really recommend test out both of these. I love perfumes. I have a great collection. I find that both Arancia and Mandarino are really, really unique. If you like citrus, you're going to find something really impressive with these 2 fragrances. When it comes to long lasting, again, citruses are a lot more volatile. So this one here was lasting probably about 4 hours, 5 hours on skin. Humboldt was giving me a comfortable 6+ hours, 5-6 hours without any problems at all. But what I like about Arancia de Sicilia is that it starts off with a very candy, sweet, vibrant orange scent. It's very realistic. It's almost like you've grabbed an orange and just buried your nose in it. It's very juicy and very Moorish in its scent profile. Then as it dries down, it does have a coffee note in the base, and also I believe it has musk. And so it does dry down a little bit more, I guess, mature. It starts off very young, vibrant, fresh, and then it sort of dries down into a more mature scent, a more mature citrus scent. Glorious, glorious as a summer fragrance, as a going out fragrance, an evening fragrance. Just magic. You need to test this one out. Arancia de Sicilia. The last one I actually used quite a bit. Actually, this was on constant repeat in Malaysia. And this is AQUA VITAE FORTE. So this is I think it's the extrait de parfum, excuse me. It's the eau de parfum, sorry. But the Forte just has a little bit of a different sort of composition to it. What I love about this is that it starts off with a citrus spicy component to it. I know it has cardamom on those opening and also has cinnamon, I believe. But when it dries down, it goes into this wonderful orange blossom with a little bit of a ylang-ylang. So there are flowers in there, but that citrus early on, it retains it all the way through the fragrance. I wore this the other day here in Melbourne. It was cool, but probably about 5 hours in, and this fragrance was still, to the point where my son gave me a hug and he's like, "Ooh, you smell good today." And I'd been wearing it already for about 5 hours. Glorious fragrance, works well in summer, winter, but this was definitely my hot and sweaty fragrance that I was using in Malaysia. Really exceptional. I would recommend it. MFK, can't go wrong. That's for Northern. So all our US and European friends, have a look at those fragrances. I would recommend them to you. For us Aussies and down this end of the world, I'm gonna stay on MFK, Baccarat Rouge. I love it. I just adore this fragrance. Now, my wife has been wearing this, my son has been wearing this, I've been wearing this. It is the most, I don't want to classify a single fragrance as the most divine, most glorious of all fragrances that ever existed. But honestly, and again, I don't want to give that crown to anybody. I just know that maybe I have a sweet spot or a weak spot for Baccarat Rouge. I can smell, when my wife is wearing this, she smells like heaven. If heaven had a smell, it would be this, and I think probably because it's also my wife, I'm linked the smell with her, etc. Anyway, but I love wearing this too. It's just this is a glorious in a cooler weather. It's just beautiful. It's just this beautiful ambery, sweet warmth just envelopes you. Anyway, Baccarat Rouge, everybody knows this, and I'm not saying anything that's unusual here, but I would recommend it as a winter fragrance, please. I encourage you, go check that out. One that I'm also really, really enjoying, and I've been getting a lot of compliments, and actually I'm gonna do a video on this because there's an awesome backstory on El Born. It's a tribute to Barcelona. I was in Barcelona, we're traveling through Barcelona, and I bought this from the Cana Barcelona store. There is a funny backstory on this, but I'll do a video on that particular, on this particular fragrance. What I love about this, it's a very boozy, so if you like sort of boozy kind of fragrances, rum, whiskey, those kind of components. So it's a very spicy, boozy, fruity component. The fruit is toned down, so it's not overtly sweet in any way, but it has this wonderful, spicy, ambery, just, again, I've been wearing this, no matter where I'm wearing it, I'm getting compliments from people around me. It has a moderate trail, so it's not huge sillage, but I think it performs, in my opinion, performs as an excellent evening fragrance, and it is glorious as a winter cool weather fragrance. So El Born, I'd strongly recommend this one to you. And the last one, and one that I am actually wearing today, also another Paris Monte Carlo. This is Ylang Ylang Nosy Bee. Now, Nosy Bee, I actually thought it was a cute little marketing term. If you haven't watched the video on Paris Monte Carlo, check this out. Have a look. I did tag it so you can go straight to the Nosy Bee conversation. So they have Patchouli Nosy Bee and Ylang Ylang Nosy Bee. Those two fragrance notes, the way they're cultivated is quite unique. So if you want to have a look at that, how it's done, it's quite impressive. What I like about Ylang Ylang Nosy Bee, sometimes Ylang Ylang can be a little bit feminine leaning. This is, again, comfortably masculine, feminine. For me, I'm getting the Ylang Ylang sort of floral component to it, but I get a chocolate vibe out of this fragrance. And I've looked at the notes and I'm not picking up chocolate at all. For me, this is beautifully a floral amber style of fragrance, slight spices there. I believe that there is cardamom somewhere in that pyramid. I do know that ylang is in the top, heart, and base of this fragrance. So that ylang plays all the way through the fragrance. Anyway, just as works beautiful on a woman, but for me, as a man, I love wearing this particular fragrance. Warm, it's ambery, has floral components. Anyway, just, I was gonna say sexy fragrance, but everyone, like, yeah, but very sensual, very, very sensual fragrance. That's my recommendation, summer, winter. Now, what is mate? I need to loop back on this. We've got I have a number of new subscribers. Welcome, it's so nice to see Mate Talk actually getting quite a bit of traction. But in case you may have missed earlier conversations about what Mate Talk is about, it's really an opportunity, more specifically, for you to tell me what is it that you would like to know more about. If you look at earlier conversations, we've covered off subjects like creed. You know, I've had a few people reached out early on wanting to know more about the House of Creed. So if you want to look at that, those earlier episodes talk about that. We've also talked about fragrance notes. So we've talked about like isolated osmanthus and leather or vanilla. People have said, you know, can you recommend some fragrances within that uses those particular notes? So you tell me what you would like to know more about, what you'd like me to explore. And yeah, the advantage of these Mate Talks is that I just did 6 fragrances and I can do it quickly. I normally like to spend quite a bit of time in constructing my episodes. So this is a really quick, fun, easy way to engage between us. And what is mate? So in the words of a good friend, Carlos from Paris, Monte Carlo, have a look at this.
Hey Marcelo, hello. Here's are the tips to make the Uruguayan mate, okay? We put the yerba mate in the mate. I do like this, okay? Then I will put cold water like this. Just a little bit to get it bigger. And then what I will do is the following. I will put the bombilla here, this way, and then hot water in order not to burn the yerba mate just above the bombilla. I will let it dry a little bit. Once the water will be consumed completely by the yerba mate, then we'll be ready to start up, click, and ready to go. Always the water nearby the bombilla. This is the only trick. Okay? I hope you enjoyed that. Be good, man.
How cool is Carlos? Carlos is Uruguayan. He is he's responsible, or he's works for Paris Monte Carlo from an international point of view. Both of us are way into mate. And this is his ritual. Okay, do you want to know how I do it? I put the yerba in, pour the water, put the bombilla, drink it. So for Carlos, it is a science. The way that he is doing it is the right way to do it. So if anyone who's interested in tasting or seeing what yerba mate is all about, I would follow Carlos's instruction. You're gonna get probably the best flavor from that. I tend to be a little bit impatient and I just go. So anyway, that's yerba mate. And the idea is that for Mate Talks, you bring your favorite drink, whether it's coffee, mate, water, and we engage via this method. Tell me things you want to know more about, and I would love to share that and create an episode about it. Bada bing, that's it. Thank you so much, everyone. I love the connection, and I will see you all on the next Mate Talk.